I definitely think that anxiety and depression is so prevalent today, especially in this social media age where we're like constantly comparing and it's never good enough and it's never perfect enough. Like it's never gonna fit the image that's on your phone because on your phone it's not real. And I think that like a lot of times people think, oh, well, the person I'm idolizing isn't going through it. Yes, they are. I feel like mental health has become more of a accepted topic, but I think that it wasn't always, and I'm wondering what you guys feel, how important college athletes and mental health side of things affect you.
I mean, for me personally, what I think of or comes to mind is like my whole like recruitment process with soccer. Like that was so detrimental to the way I viewed myself because it never had anything to do with like, oh, maybe they don't have a spot with my position or like, oh, maybe there's like coaching changes or whatever. It was always like, oh, I'm just not good enough and like I don't belong. And like it was this thing where people could say like, oh, you're a great soccer player, like you're great, like you deserve to be like playing for a college or whatever, and it wasn't enough because in my head that's the way I was thinking was like, oh, I don't belong there, so why would I even try, kind of thing. And I think like the like opportunity to do a new sport was like, oh yeah, I don't belong here because I don't know how to play this sport yet, but I can work my way towards it. So it was almost like this nice refresher where it was like, I have the capability to be good enough, and it was like a reset on my mind and the state of thinking for sure.
Recruiting is such a huge stressor, especially now in the NIL age when people are putting money on top of offers and deals are going around 1 week on the table, 2 weeks on the table, and you have to decide and you're so young. So
Absolutely.
It's like, I feel like mental health is such a prevalent topic now.
I think going back to like being a leader, I think in those cases, like checking in on your teammates is like a main thing for me, and bringing that energy and positivity like to the team, because you never know what people are going through. And that's the tough part about life, is a lot of people like to keep things in instead of expressing it. So that I express to my team, like whenever they got a problem, like come to me, like I'm always gonna be there for you. That's why I wear this bracelet, Holistic Hope. Just to, I mean, it has the hotline on the back of it. Just to, I mean, whenever, just to express my gratitude for it, and just to be there for people, because you never know what they're dealing with. That's the hard thing about life. So yeah.
Were you at that presentation when they?
Yeah.
Can you share a little bit about it?
Were you there? Oh, okay. So Holinski, he was a quarterback at Wazoo. And so I don't know the detail, you probably know the detail more, but he committed suicide. He was a quarterback, star quarterback at Wazoo, committed suicide, was dealing with a lot of things, and his parents didn't know. And sadly, they got a call that they found his body, and he left a note for them. And so just, it's hard because even being parents, like as parents, they never know what their kid is going through. So it's kind of like, how can you express that? And I think as athletes, like we need to express that more, right, and to just let our pride go and use the people in our corner.
Right.
Yeah.
So good that like we're talking about it too, because I feel like a lot of people don't talk about suicide rates, especially with athletes. And I think that now that most programs are developing like sports psych into their programs, and I started going myself, especially after the World Cup situation I told you guys about. But one of my friends from Stanford actually committed suicide, and now that like they have like a Katie Save program and they're involving parents more with their athletic journey of their kids, I think like no one thinks it's the starter, like the star quarterback, but it surely can be. And I think like taking the time and really sitting down and being present in each moment and really checking in with yourself is so important.
Yeah, I think when I think about like mental health for athletes, I think the biggest struggle, I guess, is balancing, or I guess I should say dividing like your mental health from your sport. Because I feel like we let our performance or how our sport is going impact the way that we feel about life or just like our overall mood or well-being, just in general. So finding that balance of like, just because you had a bad practice doesn't mean you have to have a bad day or be, just let it impact who you are. And I think a lot of people just put so much pressure on themselves to perform that it just impacts every other aspect of your life. So I think finding that balance of like being a human and taking care of your well-being versus who you are as an athlete is like the biggest struggle that we go through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think like our awareness with mental health has gotten a lot better in the past few years. But I also feel like it's different, especially like being like a male athlete. I don't know if it's any different with like in women's sports, but I feel like with male athletes, I feel like we have to put on like sort of this stoic presence, this sort of mask to kind of show like, oh, everything's okay, like I'm good, like this kind of masculine sort of, presence. In reality, most of us, going through something, we need somebody to talk to. And sometimes it'll be hard to kind of find somebody to, talk to, about that. So I think like going back to, being a leader, being able to check in on your guys and the people around you is going to be like really important. And, I think like, especially if you're going through something, talking and trying to, go back and forth with somebody else that also might be going through something as well. And kind of, just getting it all out of there instead of just keeping it in. It's like so big for athletes.
Yeah, and I feel like it's like finding those coping mechanisms or like having resources to go through, because I feel like for me for so long, like if I wasn't doing well or my mental health was declining, it was like I'd go to the gym or I would just like go hard. Like I feel like we're just like push through, like go harder, go harder. But like when your sport is your outlet and your only way of coping with things, and then your sport starts to go wrong, or you start to not play, or you get hurt, then that's when everything falls apart. So having those like resources in place, whether it's talking to a friend, like going to therapy, or like whatever it is, having something else that you go to like water that grass of just your mental well-being is like, I feel like the biggest thing.
And I think that like everyone goes through it. I mean, I think it's a normal thing, which is really sad. But I think it's like knowing you're not alone is like really helpful.
And I feel like even like comparing like your own, what you go through to someone else's, like everyone has their own thing, so it's okay to just like be open about it and ask for help even before it gets to the point of being really bad.
Yeah, just going off of that, I feel like I talk to my mom so much more in season versus out of season, just because I'm going through so much more stress and pressure, and that's like a big mental health relief for me, like my family.
Yeah, I think it's like really important to realize like how many people kind of go through the same thing. Like you would always assume that, oh, I'm the only one kind of going through this problem. And then you'll talk to one of your friends and be like, dude, I went through the exact same thing. And like, I know somebody else that went through the same thing. So I think realizing that, once you start to talk to somebody about it, you'll really see how, you're really not going through that journey alone. And you can really rely on, the people around you to kind of help you get through that.
It's open dialogue.
Yeah. And I think, I'm going to keep going back to this, but just knowing your worth, like, and your value you bring. And I think that's the importance about it. And then from there, it's like, okay, now I don't need to compare myself to someone else, because I know I bring a certain value that he may not bring or she may not bring, and just knowing your worth.
Yeah, and it's unique to you, and you can't take that from you.
Yeah.
I love that.
Unique in your own ways.
In terms of kind of lightening up the mood after you go through those ebbs and flows with music, how do you guys kind of use music to help your athletic performance?
I think music is super important. Picking the right music, especially maybe like before a game, kind of getting yourself into that zone. Because I feel like without music, your mind kind of tends to wander a little bit. But if you have the right music, you have the right song to kind of help you think about things more, help you get prepped for something. I think it's key. I listen to music all the time, and even my teammates know how important it is. We'll be weightlifting, and somebody play like some weird song, and be like, "No, we gotta change this music up right now." But yeah, I think naturally we're just kind of attuned to really relate to music, and it kind of affects us all in a different way. And I feel like if we're able to tap into that really well, it'll help us a lot with, you know, all the things that we go through.
Are you like an AirPod guy or a Beats guy?
I'm a Beats guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that for you.
Yeah.
What about you?
With me, I kind of start my day off with music, gospel music, kind of get my day going. And then from there, I start with some little slow music like Drake or Party Next Door, just to get the vibe going. Because, you know, if you start off with some NBA Youngboy, you can't, your day gonna go too crazy, you know?
Yeah.
So, no, but music is definitely big in my life. I kind of listen to it on a daily, 24/7, really. Like right when I get home, I'll turn on the speaker and just vibe. So yeah, I think it brings a personality out of you, and it tells you a lot about yourself. And yeah, I think music can also bring people together. So I think that's a cool thing about music.
That's a great conversation starter.
Sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, same as him. I have music 24/7. Like, I will always have my AirPods in. If not, it's on a speaker. And I've actually noticed that when I'm playing sometimes, if I'm really overwhelmed, I'll just start like singing in my head, and that's always really helped me. One of my old coaches, like, he was like, so defensively, like, you're listening to rock music, right? And then when you're on offense, like, that's like classical, like, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, I think it's just like really crazy how much music is tied to my like athletic like lifestyle, and like I do the slow, I do fast, and like how much it just, you know, it changes the way that you're thinking and the way that you're carrying yourself and stuff.
Yeah, I think for me it's just like vibes, like getting yourself into the right like mindset and whatever. For me, like I listen to all kinds of different music, so it kind of just like depends on my mood, but like whatever I'm feeling that day. And I always have music on like when I'm shooting, because I just like, again, just like vibing, like not overthinking my shot, just like getting in a rhythm, because I feel like rhythm is sports.
What's on your playlist when you go shooting?
It really depends. Like sometimes I do like more like rap, like if I just need to get motivated, like Drake, whatever it is, if I really need to like lock in. But sometimes like I like to play R&B and kind of just like vibe and shoot and get in that kind of a rhythm. So it really just depends on the day. I don't have like, I have a gym playlist, but like I'll play all different type of stuff.
Yeah, I feel like a good shuffle, you can never go wrong. But I feel like I have songs that like specifically remind me of something. So like I have a song attached. Like when I got my first offer, I'm like, like let me turn that up, because it'll like re-put me back in that place, and I'll be reminded of like the happy memories that surround it. Or like when I had like a great game, I'm like, ooh, I'm a little bit superstitious. So I'm like, I'm gonna play that Kanye and Jay-Z again, and that's the end of that conversation.